Then we wonder why these relationships don't work. We can't be superficial like that. We got to dig deeper. Because being around certain people make us look good in the eyes of others. That's not a real relationship. That's superficial ego boost. The next relationship we get into codependent relationships. We're real big on codependent relationships. We're very big on that. Where we have to be in a relationship with people. Have you met people who are never single? They hop from relationship to relationship to relationship. They're never single. That's codependency. And we get that from slavery. Wanting to be attached with others. That sense of abandonment. That codependency thing, it goes back to abandonment because during slavery, when we had a loved one, that loved one could be taken away from us at any moment. So we didn't want that abandonment. That's why we would downplay the person to others. That's where hating comes from, by the way, too. How black folks have this thing about hating. Hating is all about abandonment, too. When somebody wanted to take our loved one, we would say, don't take him. He ain't nothing. He lazy. He whack. He weak. Don't take him. Because we wanted them next to us. That's why you notice when black folks are right here on your level and y'all doing dirt, everything is cool. The minute you say, hey man, I'm about to move to another city, get another job, man, you ain't gonna get no, you gonna lose that job. You about to get married, man, you gonna get a divorce, man, you don't need to marry her. The minute you try to rise up, people you love start hating. Rob a bank, they're like, ooh, I'd be the getaway driver. So the next relationship we get in, family, those are holiday relationships. That means we get into these little symbolic emotional relationships around Christmas, around Valentine's, because we want a sense of family. So we're in love with the idea of being in a relationship. Women, you are good for doing that. And this makes you vulnerable, women, because a lot of times during the holidays when women out here campaigning for relationships, real players, they got to hustle around Valentine. That's like the holy grail for players. Because they go out looking for lonely women who are desperate for relationships during Valentine's. So you're like sitting ducks during Valentine's and you have that holiday relationship mentality. So you have to learn how to shake that. Now, the next relationship that we get into status-seeking relationships, meaning that the person might not be attractive that we like, but they have a certain status. They might be a celebrity, they might be a basketball player, and we want to get with them because it will boost our status. And not just on a national level, even on a local level, you have a lot of women trying to get with preachers who are single. Y'all seen this in churches before. Let them women find out that a preacher is divorced or he's single. Those church dresses turn into miniskirts. So that's the status-seeking relationship. The next relationship we get into is the friends with benefits relationship. How many people in a friends with benefit relationship? Oh, somebody. You snatch his hand down and not get him in trouble. But the thing is, a lot of times, we're not honest enough to say, hey, look, I'm only interested in sex in this person. Sometimes it's hard to just admit that, especially women, because we kind of shame women into not wanting to be into relationships that are just superficial or just about sex. And a lot of women are just forced to say they want to be in a relationship with a person that they're really not compatible with outside of sex. In certain situations, you just have a dude that you're cool with, but then you have a woman that you're cool with, y'all enjoy sex with each other, you might try to get into a relationship and you end up butting heads because a lot of times you're too much alike. If you're friends with a person before you got into a relationship with them, you need to make sure that you're not too much like them. Because it's good to be in a relationship with a person you have things in common with, but a lot of times if you're too much like a person, you're gonna butt heads. If you're the kind of person you don't like to cook, she don't like to cook, you're gonna butt heads. You don't like cleaning up the house, she don't like cleaning up the house, you're gonna butt heads. She like going out partying, you like going out partying, you're gonna butt heads. So you can't be too much alike a person. Now the next relationship that we get into, those are the sex and war relationships. Those are the very extreme relationships where all you do is have sex and fight. Fight, sex. fight sex. You thrive off that drama. Have you had friends like that before? And those relationships end up burning themselves out because, again, you're only in the relationship for the drama and the passion and the extremities of it. That's not a real relationship. Those burn themselves out very quickly, so you have to identify those type of relationships when you get in them. Now, the next relationship we get into, that's the resume-only relationship. That means a person looks great on paper. He has a great job, great career, dressed nice, come from a good home, but when you date him, y'all don't click. You're just not feeling the vibe, and you try to force it. Same thing with men. Men, you might meet a woman, she's cute, nice body, nice career, nice job, but when you try to get into a relationship with her, you just don't, there's no chemistry there. You just don't vibe with this person. And the thing is, I'm not saying that's even good or bad, right or wrong, because in Eastern countries, most of their relationships are resume only. They're like, damn, chemistry, he has tangibles, we have tangibles, marry him so we can share these tangibles. So you just have to be honest about those resume only relationships so you don't lie to yourself and end up getting burned out in those relationships. And then the last type of relationship we get into pit stop relationships. Pit stop relationship is when you're dating somebody just until you get your stuff together. You might be a dude, you just got out of jail, you need a place to stay, you met a pen pal, and the minute you get another bag of dope sent in, you're gonna go slang it and get rid of her. And you gotta be honest about those type of relationships. And the name of the game is just being real and being truthful about the relationships we're in, because when we get our relationships together, we get our families together. When we get our families together, we get our communities together. When we get our communities together, we get our finances together. And my whole thing, family, is not just to motivate you, I just want to empower you. Motivation and empowering are two different things. Because see, motivation just gets you moving. Empowering gets you moving with strategy. See, we gotta start being more strategic about the things we do. Because see, motivation is me telling you to go out and confront an immigrant business that's in a black neighborhood that's being disrespectful and exploiting the neighborhood. So I can motivate you to picket them. You can go out there with a picket sign and say, hey, stop disrespecting us. Stop disrespecting us. And you're motivated to get them to stop, and hopefully they'll stop. So you hope, wish, pray that they'll stop. That's motivation. It's not really gonna change anything, but that's motivation. Empowerment is going to those businesses who are in your community, exploiting them and saying, hey, look, immigrant business, don't like the way you're doing business here, so we as a community, we're gonna pool our money together. We're not giving you another dime of our money, and we're gonna let you go out of business in a month. Have a nice day.